I'll wait a few minutes, but here I am, my friends. Book 4, Chapter 1, Journey to Andromeda. Can't believe I finally got this done where I can finally read it. Done a few changes. Added a few line changes to the book right here, for instance. But ready to rock and roll. I'll wait a few minutes, let my friends, anybody comes on, catch me online before I read. If you read my, I don't know what I said, what you call it then. And then book 4, chapter 1. It's only six pages long. That's all. 6. Chapter 2 may be a little bit longer. I don't know how long chapter 2 is. But chapter 1, I'm excited. I have some ideas for the book 5. Book 5. But they're just ideas. I have nothing written down. I'm stuck with ideas. How the flow is going to go with book 5 yet. Do they travel to Andromeda, or do I let them? But I just change that at the end. I have an empty notebook ready to roll. And I think I get to chat. I think I get finished with book 4. That was a long book. Here's the rest of the book. That's book 2, chapter 2. And by the way, this I showed earlier, book 1, from the publisher, by the way. Watch this. Copyrighted. That makes me happy. Which means I'm that close to sharing my vision. I hope everyone likes my story, my book when it comes out. I like it. I made a few changes. It's not exactly the same as what it was when I read to you when I first read it. I did change some stuff, but I'll leave that for you to read later. Now, that was book 1. My editor has at the publishing office out in California. That makes me happy. I had to go back, print out book 1, the edited version that they sent me. Go into Word, Microsoft Word, just in order to make changes in my book. For some reason, I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to save it. It sends me to Google Docs. It ticks me off so bad. I had to reprint all book 1, the edited, emailed copy that the publisher sent me in order to get that. I already made changes. I had to fix the chapters because let me show you what the book looks like that they sent me. It's not what it looks like now that I sent them back. This is chapter 1, how the chapters begin. I fixed it, so now it's no longer. I like the chapter 1 begins down here now. Somewhere. Not up like it does. And the same goes with the other 7 chapters in this book. There's 8 chapters all in all in this book. And soon that will be on the bookshelves. I'm excited. Alright, no one's coming on. We'll start reading. Starting from the last line of book 3. They began construction of a second dark star, Eve says. What do you mean they began construction of a second dark star? Fleet Admiral Sir Stephen T. Spears asks, shock in his voice. I mean, just what I am saying. They're just completing its construction before I left to test the Falcon Project device, a teleporter machine. I can send fleets of ships, hundreds of light years, a couple hundred light years in the blink of an eye. It's about the size of the solar system's planet Mars. Much more powerful than the original Dark Star. Oh my god, Princess Julia Lurkin Spears says softly. I was only able to supply your tech people a partial schematic of the station, Recover says. The Emperor is personally overseeing the station's construction. He's there? Admiral Sepp Dietrich asks incredulous. Yes, sir, he is, the Recover says, and he controls all access to the station's schematics. No one can access them without his direct authorization. The station is 95% complete. Wow. Where are they completing the work? Stephen asks. Second planet in the L382 system, Admiral. Eve responds. The Imperial shipyards? Sepp says now. Yes, the first Dark Star was constructed and completed there, Eve says. Sorry. Alright. Get this started here. I know the system. They build state-of-the-art cruisers and such. Sepp says. But only for the Emperor, Recover says. They just completed an even bigger, more powerful super battle cruiser for the Emperor as well. It's supposed to be some 20 miles long. That is long. Manned by 5,000 officers and crew. Most of the ship's systems are run by a 20th generation AI system. That's a lot. Oh my god, that's massive, Julia says. Sorry. That's all I have on the ship, Recover says, but I do know that the Dark Star 2 has an atmosphere with oceans, rivers, lakes, ice caps, deserts, tundra, and forests. It can be mistaken for its planet if you didn't know its true purpose. I know nothing more about the station or the weapons. Sorry, I need to drink a little sore throat. So take a couple minutes break. Sorry. A little thirsty. Alright, where was I? Oh, here we are. As they talk, Baroness Guilford J. Barra of Geisel Cloud City walks in and approaches the bar, ordering a drink before joining the party. She's very striking because all of her race are bald. but also super intelligent, making the best 30th century supercomputers or droids pale in comparison to them. Interesting. Welcome back, Baroness, Steven says, getting to his feet, offering a seat. I think you have one, Guilford says, smiling as he sits down next to Julia. Stephen grabs an empty chair from a nearby table and sits down, smiling. Sub has a standing rule that prohibits fighting in the pub. If it occurs, fighters are escorted out and banned from the pub for life. Not a good way to lose your. No. And so far in the years since he won the bar in a fair bet with the original owner, no patron has broken the rule. Sorry, a little sore throat. And the few who have completely regretted it. There are plenty of tables and chairs to go around, plenty of space for all to enjoy themselves, and still not cause much of a ruckus. And Centauri constables, cops, have not had to be called in for a few years now. How goes rebuilding Gazelle City? Sepp asks now. The damage was extensive, but mostly centered around the mining complex, Guilford says. The city proper suffered some minor damage, but the city is up and running just fine, Admiral. But by the way, congratulations on your promotion. You guys. Thank you, Baroness. Sepp Dietrich says, nodding. He commands the cargo fleet out of Centauri Prime. She'd had a small part in that in the promotion. She knew he was a good leader. Stephen has something to do with this, but he will not admit it. I have no idea what the Admiral's talking about, Stephen says, straight faced. I have done some dealings with the people on L382B, so I may be of some help, Admiral. Could you get a team of spies onto the planet unnoticed? Stephen asks. Alright, off to a good start. As long as you make yourselves look gazillion, yes you can, Guilford says. I have a meeting planned with the construction manager in about 78 hours. Centauri time frame. I can bring 3 assistants along for the meeting. I'll come along, Stephen says, nodding. I would love to come along too, Julia says. But that would mean I would have to have my head shaved, right? Not a good thing. Yes, it would, Your Highness, Guilford says, nodding. Julia tugs on her long locks of hair. I'll do it, she says, nodding. The hair will grow back, Your Highness, Guilford says. She spots a newcomer walking into the pub. Another Gazillion woman in a samurai warrior outfit. Cloak, sorry. She jumps to her feet and runs into the woman's arms, and they now rejoin the group at the table. Friends, I would like for you all to meet my long lost sister, Martha. Gilfarka Martha, the samurai warrior says, giving her full name now. Welcome to Dietrich's, Seb says, offering the samurai his seat. I thought you died during the Emperor's purges, the Baroness says as they sit side by side holding hands. I survived the purges because I hid among supporters of the former Chancellor on a sympathetic world of the old GFS, Galactic Free States. I have a nose itches, the samurai says. I could not come out of hiding due to the deteriorating conditions of the fallen GFS. However, when the samurai order was revived, I rejoined many other samurai who come out hiding to fight the Empire again. I stayed there on Centauri Prime to help the princess's final training before her challenges. Like the gods, you are alive and back with our family, the Baroness says, hugging her sister. Mom will be thrilled to know that you are back in the picture again, fighting the Empire. The surprise, Mom says. Martha says, nodding. Good idea, the Baroness says, smiling. Can I offer you a drink, warrior? Stephen asks. Can I have some Jack Daniels, please? Martha asks as Stephen pours a glass of whiskey for her. Many samurai are teetotalers, and many drink alcohol openly, too. Stephen is among the non-teetotalers. He will always stay sober, especially when he's about to enter a fight, like what he's about to do. Okay. Oh, water break. Sorry. All right. Here you go, Martha. Spelled Mertha. That's her first name. Stephen says, handing her the glass. Thank you, Admiral Master Stephen. Martha says, sipping the whiskey and coughing a little. Let me take a little break. If you like my book, can you please give me a thumbs up? If you have any comments or suggestions, please put them in the comment section and I will read them. I promise. I'm trying to catch up with all my messages. I haven't been online for a while too, so forgive me. But I am back online because I'm able to read something finally. Okay, let me just take a little rest. I gotta read that, look that, check that out. Sorry. Okay, good enough. A little burn going down. Stephen says, I should have warned you. Stephen knows that he will have. Excuse me. Have his looks altered to land on L382B, just as Julia will have to do. But I wonder how he'll hide his 5 fingers from the Gazillion 4 fingers and toes. But he knows that the Baroness will help them pass off as Gazillion. But he knows they'll have to do this if they want to get a copy of the Dark Star plans. They do not have a man on the inside this time, unlike in the original Dark Star and now Halko's case. Now working for RONI, Rebel Office of Naval Intelligence. Baroness, when do we leave for L382? Stephen asked now. As soon as Julia and you have your facial features altered to look Kazelian, Admiral. Delphar says, I have a meeting with a construction manager in 7 days. I'm allowed to bring along 3 assistants. Understood, Stephen says, looking to Julia. He looks nervous. I do see one problem, though, Julia says, holding up her 5-fingered hand. That can be taken care of with a pair of our 4-fingered gloves, Your Highness. Okay, Julia says. We We'd stick out in a crowd of gazillions if we did not have the gloves. Those four fingers do not add up to five. Most of my people wear gloves because they do not like contact with non-gazillions, Martha says. Old stories of germs and stuff like that spreading among our people frightened our people to the point of almost closing off our society to off-worlders. Many of my people have been back to Earth for a long time and attempted to do that. I gotta fix that. I don't know what I did wrong there. Well, many of my people. Excuse me 1 second. I have to rewrite that. Let me restart that line again. Many of my people back on Earth for a long time attempted to do that to no avail, but then we found peace among our nations and ended war and famine and starvation together. So, man, it's getting on my nerves. Stephen says. So did we when we first encountered our first off-worlders. Martha says. Julia, is that really you? Steve asks as Julia walks out of the facial altering chamber. Her face looks more gazillion than human now, as he'd already had his facial features altered, his head shaved, and his ears made pointy like those of a gazillion. Yeah, it's me. It's weird looking at myself in a reflection and not even recognizing myself, she says, smiling as she rubs her bald head. Knowing that is only temporary. I know how you feel, Stephen says, nodding. You two need to act like this is the natural way things are for our race, Martha says. Understood, Martha. Stephen says. I'm just not used to having pointed ears or a bald head. Hair will grow back, Admiral, the Baroness says. Trust me. I'm still not used to seeing you two as you are right now. When we arrive on L382B, please address me as Admiral. I'm sorry. Address me as Baroness or Madam. I'm your boss, understood? Yes, Baroness. The two kids say together. Okay. The natives refer to the planet as Pan, spelled P-A-H-N. Pronounced Pan. Baroness Guilford says. Spelled pronounced Pan, P-A-N, like the pan, like a frying pan. Baroness Guilford says. So you must refer to it that way, so as not to give away your real identities. Understood? Yes, ma'am. Kid said, nodding. Most planetary natives refer to L382B as Pan, not its rebel nomenclature, L382B. Pan is a global metropolis that's 10% bigger in volume than Ukrania Prime, and Ukrania Prime is a global metropolis, the Baroness says, as it is run by the mammoth crime syndicate, so we have to tread lightly and not step on the wrong toes. That being your friendly neighborhood mammoths, and I showed you a picture of them. The mammoths have a price on mine and Julia's heads for what we did with the Dark Star, Stephen says. He knows if they knew they were on their home ground, they'd hunt him and Julia down personally, but since the alterations, the mammoths would not recognize him outright. The Emperor would love to get. Uh, sorry. His. Oh, come on. Get his hands on Julia once more, as she stole the plans for the first Dark Star. And Stephen was the dreaded Tiger IV, the man who destroyed the Dark Star. But he does know that one of the mammoths is also a samurai warrior, loyal to the Order, not the Syndicate. That's interesting. I don't know if I can keep that. Don't worry with your body's altered like that, like they are. You should pass off as Gazillion easily. The race known as the mammoth is a bipedal creature that stands 5 meters at the shoulders. It is muscular, the hide thick enough to stop a blaster shot or a slash of a samurai sword or an edged weapon. They come with a prehensile tail with a club at the end. They do come from the planet Ekrania 3b, the moon of the third planet in the Ekrania star system known as Thule. It has an elephant-like trunk, no trunk, and elephant-like tusks. I can show you a picture of one I drew. The most notorious gangster of the Mammoth Syndicate is Artrot Ilani, the Moth. She runs all operations on Pan from a castle located along the equator of the global metropolis. Artrot Ilani, the Moth, is the most hated mammoth of her people. She's the only being on Pan who can authorize construction of any new warship for the Empire. Even the Emperor has to get her permission to build new construction in the system. She's taken on many adversaries and won every one of them, including a dozen samurai warriors, retaining their sword hilts now hanging on a wall in her audience chambers. Those not killed by her were killed and eaten by her pets. A crocodilian, a 10-meter tall crocodile-like bipedal creature, as a man-eater as described. I think I showed you a picture of that too. Not my best, but then again, I can't draw animals and creep people. I do my best. We are ready to lift off in my personal cruiser and leave for Pan, Admiral, the Baroness says. When do we leave, Baroness? Stephen asks. Hang on, we're down to the last page. Within the hour, Admiral, the Baroness says. Stephen does have 50 members of the Special Forces 11th Group, one of the best in the Rebel fleet, and 18 samurai warriors. Some of the best that SOG has to offer in his command. One of 18 of the best samurai warriors to come out of retirement. He's aware of the Special Forces team, SF, as they're on a separate ship, cloaked for the journey to Pan. He has one of the best officers in command, Pack. You met her. Book 2. I ask us if this May I ask if this contact you have is on Pan, is it a mammoth or a human? Stephen asks. He's human like you are, Stephen. Yeah, Baroness says. He manages most of the platform that the station is built around. From what I understand, it's about the size of planet Mars and more formidable. They walk out to the dock where the Baroness's personal shuttle is docked, awaiting for her return. Yeah, they will wait. They all wave goodbye as the shuttle lifts off and makes for orbit and the Baroness's personal cruiser. Moments later, the cruiser jumps into hyperspace. And that, my friend, is chapter 1. Can't believe I found you. Yeah, finally get that completed. I hope you guys liked what I did. I hope you liked chapter 1 so far. If you liked it, sorry, give me a thumbs up. Comments, please put them in the comments and I will read. I need to go into my comments panel anyway. Sorry, guys, I haven't been online for a while and haven't checked my site. I need to do it more often, but I will right now. And I promise I will respond. You won't have any problems with that. That's my friend Hiki. She knows. He knows. Sorry. He's been the only one that comes on and watches me read live. Not today, but that's okay. Sorry, I need a drink. Sorry, I was thirsty. But that was chapter 1. There's 7 more to go. Maybe by the time I'm done with chapter 1, I'll have an idea for book 5. I have a tentative idea in my head, but I'm not going to give you an idea. I will not give away any of my secrets until I'm ready to read it. But I promise you'll have chapter 2 tomorrow. I'm going to call today. I thank you all for listening. Bye. God bless. And be safe, my friends.